on borrowed loads, borrowed generations, 50 of them. Let's see how much they last.
Pretending to be wise. The hottest place in hell is reserved for those who in time of crisis remain neutral. Dante Alighieri, famous hell expert. John F. Kennedy, misquoter. It's common to put on a show of neutrality or suspended judgment in order to signal that one is mature, wise, impartial, or just has a superior vantage point. An example would be the case of my parents, who respond to theological questions like, why does ancient Egypt, which had good records on many other matters, lack any records of Jews having ever been there? When I was your age, I also used to ask that sort of question, but now I've grown out of it. Another example would be the principal who, faced with two children who were caught fighting on the playground, sternly says, "It doesn't matter who started the fight, it only matters who ends it." Of course, it matters who started the fight. The principal may not have access to good information about this critical fact, but if so, the principal should say so, not dismiss the importance of who threw the first punch. Let a parent try punching the principal and we'll see how far, it doesn't matter who started it, gets in front of a judge. But to adults it is just inconvenient that children fight, and it matters not at all to their convenience which child started it. It is only convenient that the fight end as rapidly as possible. A similar dynamic, I believe, governs the occasions in international diplomacy where great powers sternly tell smaller groups to stop that fighting right now. It doesn't matter to the great power who started it, who provoked, or who responded disproportionately to provocation, because the great power's ongoing inconvenience is only a function of the ongoing conflict. Oh, can't Israel and Hamas just get along? This I call pretending to be wise. In each case, the act of pretending is hidden. One never says out loud what you do when pretending to be wise. What does that make wise? No matter how difficult the world might be. Surely any situation in which it would be obvious you should pretend not to be wise, like that is. No, and instead there will always be another reason you should pretend to be wise. Perhaps the results of wise people telling the truth could be more detrimental than those of people not being wise. Or perhaps what you need from the wise person isn't an objective explanation, but some particular piece of information that you don't need. Because then you'll just pretend not to be wise, or perhaps some other such case. But all of this can be much harder to describe in words than you might think. For this reason, there is no precise language available for when someone is pretending to be wise. A wise person and those wise who acknowledge that that wise person is wise have to call their situation different kinds of wise. If pretending not to be wise is going to help one become wise, perhaps someone's style of acting wise at times would only confuse how to achieve that. When acting wise wasn't working, maybe even acting wise was exactly the opposite of being wise. In any case, is most like to work not because one is actually wise, but because it helps one get better at being wise in some specific area. Being able to examine people with very different views, if those views are opposites of yours, with less rage, Or perhaps examine them without seeing a threat they make you? Perhaps learning that not every idea you can conceive of will be rejected as absurd by an idealist you dislike who then refuses to answer your questions any further.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. There's still nothing. Oh, I'm supposed to. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? We'll stop this one and move on to the next one.